Welcome. Today I just wanted to do a shorter video talking about one of my biggest travel tips that I use in order to get free accommodation whenever I travel, just as a student who is actually living abroad, and a way that I can avoid Airbnb fees, hotel fees, and it's not woofing, I'm not doing extensive work for stay, anything like that, but I still am able to do long-term stays or short-term. And I just thought this was knowledge that I wanted to share. So yeah, whenever I am planning to go visit somewhere, just to again save on accommodation, I will go on Facebook and search for a pet sitting or house sitting group for the city that I'm visiting, and then from there I find people who are in that area who need their homes watched or their pets watched for the duration of the stay. Usually it works out like I usually make it so that it's lenient to their schedule, and I plan my trip date according to when they need me to be there. Usually you have to do like a little application process and everything, which I'll get into that. And then, well, not necessarily an application process, but like they'll vet you, and you should vet them as well. So yeah, I'll talk about it. And there are also apps that you can use for similar things. I know there are specific pet sitting apps. If you walk on Rover, if you use WAG, here in New Zealand we have Pawshake, and you can also just change your location from there to look for long-term stays in the location that you're trying to visit. And again, you can also do this if you're traveling abroad. If you wanted to go to Paris, go to Facebook Marketplace, or just go to Facebook, search up Paris house sitting, Paris pet sitting. If you don't want to pet sit, that's fine. You can also really just house sit. I prefer to just pet sit cats if I have to pet sit, because I don't want it to seem like too much work with having a dog. You do have to be home more. Search it there and find people will post like, hey, we're going out of town. They have pictures of their home, and you can choose accordingly. If you do need specific dates, or if you can't find anyone who is available during that time frame, you can make a post yourself with pictures of yourself, any credentials that you have, if you've ever house sat before, which most people have in their youth, or pet sat before. I personally am a veterinary student. I've worked with animals extensively, and I've done like WAG, Rover, dog walking, pet sitting. So this is what I would include in that little description. Even if you just had like house sitting experience, things that you would do include like, I'll water your plants, I'll make sure trash is taken out, and then wait for someone to reply to you. Just do it super far in advance. For me, there are literally constantly, there's just an influx of people needing their houses watched in New Zealand. A lot of people travel pretty often to Australia to and from, and then while they're gone in Australia, they need someone to watch in New Zealand. And a lot of New Zealand, sometimes they need their farm animals taken care of as well. That I tend to shy away from. But if you're interested in that, you can do that as well, and that's not woofing. I'm not scared of woofing. I don't think I would personally do it. I was really interested in it when I was younger, and I had seen like a lot of good experiences, and then I started like deep diving into it, and I heard just some terrible experiences that some people have had. And as a vet student, like I said, we have to do placements on different farms, and I have experienced some negative interactions with farmers as well, just in my own experience. So everyone is different, but just watch out, do a lot of research on what farm you're going to, or even a vineyard, anything like that when you do woofing. I just don't want to live so close to the people who are accommodating me. I like to kind of have that privacy, and I just have heard, like I said, I've heard not great things sometimes, but that has its pros as well. A lot of people have said it's extremely rewarding and they've learned so much, and I really, as a veterinary student, like I said, I feel like I have learned a lot from working on farms, and I think that these are skills that everyone should have. So if that's what you really want, then definitely consider wolfing. Otherwise, if you just want to go on a trip and enjoy it and you just want a little travel tip, then this is a great one. And it's also rewarding. It's also, you know, you build this relationship with the homeowners, and I enjoy it. It's just more personal than, you know, hotel or Airbnb, and get to more of a local experience, in my opinion. Usually the homeowner will tell you, you know, what's nearby, what to do, all that, like more local things. And I love traveling in more of a local lens as opposed to like a touristy lens. I also have seen people do house sitting with the homeowner there, and I saw a girl who homeowner had the groceries and everything, and she just had to stay at the home with her and cook 3 meals a day for the owner of the home. Again, that's probably a little bit too much work for me while I'm traveling. I really like to be outside of the home majority of the time, so that's why, like I said, probably the most I would sit as far as like an animal or another human would just be a cat. Otherwise I'll just sit an empty home. Be kind of picky and choosy with what you're willing to do while you're on vacation. Obviously you need to respect people's homes 100%. You have to be careful of their rules, making sure you're not bringing guests. So if it's something like that where, you know, you really want complete autonomy, this probably isn't for you. But if it's perfect for me, just as a young person traveling, just wanting to be outside of the home majority of the time, really just needing somewhere to rest my head, but not wanting to be in a hostel with a bunch of other people, this is perfect for me. And I've had nothing but like great experiences with it. You can also get paid to do it, of course. So like I said, if you do choose to use like an app like Wag or Rover, then you'll get paid. You can also choose to make a post on Facebook requesting pay for pet sitting services. Some countries it's super uncommon to ask for that, and they won't do it, especially if you do it in a Facebook group where everyone's offering those services for free, just so that they can in return get that accommodation. You're probably, no one's going to want to take you on, but so I would be careful with that. You're likely only going to find luck doing that as a dog walker or through an app. So as far as the actual process goes, essentially you do still need to be as safe as possible, and you need to be professional. So it's not really a job, it's not anything crazy, but it's definitely a privilege to be staying somewhere for free while you're traveling, and not really having to do much in their home at all besides watch it, make sure the plants are watered. So it's always important to just be respectful and ask ahead any guidelines. Can you have guests? Do they need any plants watered? I like to ask everything about the pet, if there's a pet, what they eat, how many times a day they eat, how much they eat, if they want to pre-portion the meals for me before they leave. That's always super convenient. If they can leave like treats on the counter and tell me how many treats they usually give. If they're doing any kind of training with the pet, you would ask that prior. How many times a day for walks, how often they walk, where you're allowed to walk them. Vet information. Absolutely need the vet information. Save it in your phone and have it on standby. Rooms you're allowed in, rooms you need to stay away from. Aircon, if they even have it, that's always important to ask. Wi-Fi, television if you want television. If you can use the fridge, if there will be space for you in the fridge to use, if you can use cooking things, pots, pans. 9 times out of 10, these people are so sweet. They just want somebody to keep their house in use. I left my car in the US, and all I asked from my mom is just drive the car every once in a while, because that's all the point of, you know, house sitting is. They just want to make sure that it's just like if they were still living there for however long they're gone, because you could find a house sit for like a month, and you know, that's your home that you take care of for that month, and you have to make sure you're on top of taking out the trash and asking them when mail day is and any other little house chores that they like to do during the week, and just you know, accommodate to them, accommodate to that. It never took me more than 5 minutes to do all the house chores for the day that I would have already done if I was in an Airbnb or in a hotel, just out of respect to keep the home and keep the hotel space comfortable and clean for myself and for whoever goes in there next, for the cleaners or for the Airbnb owners if it's an Airbnb. I think, this is my personal opinion, I think Airbnb and hotel, the industry, something is going to change soon. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely gotten out of hand. The fees are so extortionary to get a hotel and to get an Airbnb compared to what it was before, and it's gotten unrealistic in my opinion. And I think something's gonna happen. I think more people are gonna be turning to each other and turning to their community for help, even globally, when you're, you know, moving abroad or traveling abroad and trying to find loopholes and things like this, because people are willing to help because they're getting something out of it as well. You're taking care of their cat, or you're making sure that their plants are watered, you're making sure that their water's running, whatever, their refrigerator's running, whatever they need. They just wanted somebody to be in the house while they're gone, just to watch it, make sure it's good, make sure, you know, everything's in place, and they're always just really grateful whenever you leave. And you could really build a little bit of a clientele this way. And then especially if you start locally doing like more local trips within your country, and then get these people. And when you want to do a big trip, you're reliable, people trust you, and you can enjoy yourself without paying $1 billion for a hotel room, because it's just so ridiculous these days. I travel for experience. I travel to go see nature. I travel to go to art galleries. I travel to go to exhibits. I think about what you need on a day-to-day. It's possible that they don't provide them, especially thinking about things like Wi-Fi, especially if you like want to record or make content or anything like that. You won't be able to do that, or you'll have to go to like an internet cafe if the home doesn't have Wi-Fi. I don't want to stay anywhere where there's huge restrictions on things that I can do. I have to be able to cook. I don't like eating out very much. Also, you can look up contracts on Facebook. Usually if you join like groups for this, a lot of the admin of the groups will have like a list of questions to ask, a sample contract, including like, you know, it'll say you should ask as the person who's visiting, like ask about the vet, ask about trash day, stuff like that. And as the person who is allowing you to stay in the home, they'll have like an outline for questions that they should ask you. I recommend doing the contract. I recommend getting it signed and everything, just to say that it's like set in stone. It's not a real contract, but it's still like a document that you guys both like agreed upon, just to cover you, you know, because again, it's just through Facebook. It's not through a company that's insured, Airbnb, anything like that, a hotel. So just be safe, be careful, communicate. I check in with the homeowners and everything, and they check in with me. I send photos of any animals that I'm pet sitting. Also like to have a virtual meeting before, not over phone call, over face-to-face. Like I want them to see me and speak to me and ask me any questions that they have, and I ask them any questions. And that's usually just a great way to get their personality, because I just am super uncomfortable staying at someone's home who isn't super like accommodating, because that's how I am. And so we tend to get along really well when they give me a lot of freedom. Like I'm trusted to respect their space, but still use it. And I can really enjoy my stay. Just like if I were to go to an Airbnb, go to a hotel, like I want that same autonomy, and I don't want to feel like I'm super restricted or I'm walking on eggshells. I ask about cameras in the home, stuff like that. I don't feel comfortable staying with that kind of stuff. So everyone has their own personal limits and everything, and same with the homeowners. Everyone has things that they're comfortable with. Some people will not let you stay in their home without cameras inside the house, stuff like that. So just again, build that rapport, build a relationship, get to know each other, and have 1 or 2 meetings beforehand and decide if that's what you want to do or not. It's completely up to you. Be comfortable. Have respect between the two of you, that this is like a mutual thing, that you're a mutual favor that you're doing for each other, and enjoy your time. That's the most important part. I know I'm making it seem really like stressful and professional and everything. No, it's so casual and it's so rewarding, and you'll have saved so much money, and you can do so much more during the trip, especially as like a young person, especially as a student, that you would not have been able to do because all that money would have went to the hotel or to the Airbnb. A lot of people turn to woofing straight out of the bat, but you do not have to woof. You don't have to do all this work, intense work. You don't even have, like I said, if you don't even want to dog sit, like you don't have to pet sit at all. You don't have to watch a cat. You can just house sit. Realistically, there will be more opportunities for you if you're open to pet sitting and cat sitting, but if you're like, no, I don't want any responsibility at all, like I just want to watch the home, water the plants, then you can also find something like that as well. But I think you would be better making your own post and doing it way ahead of time. Ask the homeowner, or the homeowner can tell you if they have a backup. When I went to house sit, the last house that I did, the next door neighbor was the backup, and she was the one who usually watched over and came in, fed the cat and everything. But since it was a longer trip, they usually would just do that for like a few days and that was it. But since this was a longer trip, they did want to find someone who could be available to sleep over and everything at the home. And so, but they still had her on backup if anything happened with me, if I had to leave early, if I couldn't come last minute, which would be terrible if I wasn't, if anything happened with me, they can cover it and have someone available. Ask them and urge them to do the same. Again, it's a mutual thing. Your services are valuable, especially if you're offering free pet sitting. That's an incredible service for free. But just like to you, this is an incredible thing for free to have this accommodation for however long your stay is. So be respectful, have fun, enjoy your travels. So yeah, that's it guys, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, let me know if you have any questions. I will gladly answer any other random travel questions, living abroad questions. I'll try to post more videos about living abroad and how life is doing that. And yeah, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.